Hello, good morning again. And this video is going to cover what are the parts of the violin and what are the things that you should consider in buying a violin. Okay, so let's see now. Let's do it high level, not necessarily all the things in detail you need it because more of violin is more of a playing, right? Not knowing the technique of how it is manufactured. Okay, so let's see now. So you see, this is how a violin looks like, right? And the violin that I now hold it is 4 by 4, which is mostly the most used violin by many of the people, unless a person is fully tall or a person is fully short like that. So if a person is fully tall, then they even use the extensions here so that that comes exactly fit to their shoulders so that it won't fall down or they won't bend too much to play all that. But for a general average height people, like 5'4" to 6 between, I would call it as, for them this 4 by 4 violin is enough. And this 4 by 4 violin, you see, this is called the lower part of the violin, lower body part, and you see this is the front side of the violin. And what are the important things that you should know as a part of the violin? I'll tell you. This is called scroll, okay, which you generally keep it on your ankle here, and this is called chin rest, and which you generally keep it towards your left shoulder, okay, while we play in Carnatic style of music. And why we sit and play in Carnatic style of music? For two reasons we sit and play. The main reason, if you ask me, the main singer who we accompany is the one who is gonna sit and sing. So then there is no meaning in we being violinists who accompany the main singer stand and play, right? So that is the reason he sit and sing. So we also sit and play. So that's a comfortable stage. And the second reason why we sit and play is because in Carnatic music, right? Carnatic, Carnatic music, the more of the vibration of notes are going to be many types, right? We call it as gamakas, and these gamakas are like, panchadasha vida gamakas, 15 types, and many more, some hidden types of gamakas are also exist in Carnatic music. In order to play them, in order to demonstrate them on the violin, if you really stand and put your violin here, then moving your fingers, the violin also keeps moving here and there, unless you are so practiced with a shoulder rest and keeping this for many years together. Unless you practice, you cannot easily play Carnatic gamakas while in a standing position, but in sitting position you can comfortably play. Again, I am repeating, I am not saying that you cannot play while in standing position, but it is easy when you sit and play. That is the another main reason that we sit and play. Okay. Now coming back to the original topic, this is called scroll. We just discussed. This is the peg box, right? Where you see 4 pegs, and these 4 pegs we use for tuning the violin. Okay, when to use these pegs, when not to use, will come there in the second class, in the second part of this video. And you see this whole black color is called fingerboard. This is the bridge, and these ones which you see it here, screw type of things, right? This is called fine tuners, okay. And this is the sound post where the sound come outside, okay. This is the chin rest, and the rest of the things, whether you know you do not know, doesn't really impact much on playing the violin. But if you really want to know, you can even Google anatomy of the violin. It will give you so much of jnana that will help you. But it is not really necessary for playing the violin. So main important things we know now, and these called strings, and you see the strings, the thinnest string, starting from the thinnest string, which is E, and go towards like this, right? E, A, D, G. That's how the strings are to be remembered. Again I repeat, string E, string A, string D, string G. Okay, so this is all what a parts of the violin. Now a person who wants to learn violin, and I would tell them that question themselves, why only violin? Why not something else instrument, right? When you question yourself why you want to learn violin, that would give more relevant reasons for you and more determination when you come to the violin classes. Or just like that, sometimes we inspire by seeing someone who is playing. When we see them, they play very easily, so we feel like, oh okay, this is what is violin, I can also learn and I can also become a violinist. But when you really come to the practical sessions of the violin, it's not so easy to play a violin, and this is called the king of instruments. That's why, because the reason, I'll just give 2 3 examples, and again, not to compare any instruments here, but to tell the facts about violin. Okay, so you see here, if it is a guitar, right, or if it is a veena, or if it is a sitar, you will see some marks over the fingerboard like dots, right? So that dots tell the placement of the note. But in violin, you see a plain fingerboard, right? You don't see any marks here. So what is really sa, what is really re, what is ga, what is ma, everything that you should be able to pick it up from your sound knowledge, right? When you hear ga, sa, re, ga, ga, okay, that is ga, right? When the sa is changed, again ga changes. So how to play all that comes from your Shruti knowledge, that is the sound of knowledge of sound, I would say. So that is the reason a violin learning and playing, I'm not saying it is difficult, but it is, it becomes easy with a lot of practice and a lot of determination. So just like that, it won't come. So when someone wants to learn a violin, question yourself, why only violin? Why not guitar? Why not keyboard? Why not veena? So when you question yourself, right, then if you are getting multiple times the positive assertions that you should learn only violin, you should only learn violin, then yes, then find a guru who can help you in teaching the violin. Okay, that's the second point. And third point, when you decided to learn a violin, right, you don't have to immediately buy a violin. That's my recommendation, because once you join a class, you will get to know the pros and cons of the learning a violin, right? And you may find after 3 months, oh my god, this is not my cup of tea, right? Then you may leave in middle. Then what would you do with already a purchased violin? It will just sit in your home. So there is no meaning in it. So I would say, first you find a group and go and join a class and understand the depth of the instrument, and see already who are learning and see them, experience them and talk to them. Then you will get to know that whether violin is your cup of tea or not. Right, now the third step, okay, you question yourself why only violin, and your mind many times told that you should only learn violin. And second, you joined a class and you found a guru, and you experienced your seniors how a violin looks like and how difficult, how easy it is, whether it is cup of your tea or not. You found everything, and now the last conclusion is that it is your cup of tea and you want to still learn a violin. Now go for purchasing a violin. Okay, now when you are purchasing a violin, right, what are the points that you should consider? The very first and foremost point is the sound of the violin, right? When you go to a shop, first thing, don't buy online. When I say online, I am not saying don't buy online. You can buy online when you have a choice of experiencing the violin sound physically, either on or before you purchase, or if you are purchasing it without listening to the sound, but you have an option of returning it if you don't like it, right? Remember these things, because nowadays of course the online business are playing a predominant role, so you cannot avoid purchasing a online violin. But see, like this, you have a musical shop nearer to you where your guru or any senior can come along with you to the musical shop in helping you buy the violin. If that is not possible, then the second option, you to purchase a violin online. And when you purchase online, ask the vendor, whosoever you are purchasing from, can you experience physically wherever you stay, and you can go there and see the violin and see the sound and everything, experience it physically, hold it, and when you feel it, right? If you are liking it, then only you purchase. If it is not allowed by the vendor, then third option, do you have an option, if you don't like it, can you return it back and get the full refund? That is the third option. When any of these options are available, then go with the best option. Now, after you saw the violin, what are the points that you should consider in checking the violin, right? The first thing is that sound. You see, you heard the sound. This is called nadam. Okay, the nadam, it is difficult to explain because I don't have a bad violin to demonstrate how a bad violin looks like, right? So it is difficult for me to explain, but I'll try to put it simple terms. When you listen to the sound should sound like very bright sound. Okay, that's the one. If you are listening a bright sound, then you can vouch that violin is good, meaning first point, it is passed. The second point, the sound should distribute evenly wherever you are in that room. The sound shouldn't be concentrated to a corner. The sound should distribute evenly to the room, right? So you take some friend and ask him to stand this corner, ask him how he is experiencing the sound. That's how the sound test can be done. And if you already learnt a violin for 3-4 months and you know how to play, then go and sit in the musical shop, no problem. Take violin and do some bowing. So play something, whatever you know. Even if it is small, sarigama, padani, no matter. You can still play and see how it is sounding. Every note, how it is sounding, right? And for every note, the sound rules are same. One is the sound has to be bright, and second, the sound has to be evenly distributed. Clear? And then the next point that you should consider is, you see here, I may say it is like on the fingerboard on the top, there is a kind of, like a speed breaker, a speed breaker kind of thing you see here, and that height from the fingerboard should be even to all this distance. It cannot be lower here, it cannot be higher here. Okay, that is another point that you should see. And when you see the violin like this, the distance between the strings and fingerboard looks equal and parallel to all the strings. Okay, that is another point that you should consider. And third point, the bridge. The bridge shouldn't be too high when you see it on the violin. You see this bridge, some violins, the bridge will be so high, and so that means you have to put so much pressure on your fingers when you play it. Okay, so the bridge has to be a kind of moderate height. You see the height, You see the height? This is how it is. This is how it is. It looks to be almost, you know, if I really take this as angle, it looks to be almost 60 to 70% angle. You know, this is how the 60 to 70% angle I'm talking about. Okay, so that is another one. And see, these fine tunes are really moving very easily, lubricated and not really tight enough. And these pegs are moving easily and not really tightened. And the color and the feel, when you hold it, you feel something, right? So that those all feels you should feel that like any other material you buy it, that's the same feels that you should find it. And once you are satisfied with all this, then go and lock that violin and you can pay money and buy it. But if you really have a guru to visit a shop, then take your guru along with you. Okay. Generally, guru don't say no. Maybe they may say that some other day, if not that day, because of their schedule. But generally, gurus will come and choose the violin because they know very well than a student whether the violin is good or bad. Right? If that is not possible, then follow these tips and ensure you buy a good violin. Right? That's all for this class, and let's see in the next class about introduction to Shruti and how to tune a violin and how to bow on the violin. Right? Thank you so much. Bye.